Hey, good morning, guys. We are here at our last week of e-learning. Aren't you excited? Are you ready for summer? Ready to be just finished and be able to spend some time? I know you spent a lot of time with your family, but just being able to focus on having fun and playing games and kind of put the schoolwork to the side a little bit. I do hope that you continue to read, you continue to do some math practice. Keep that up throughout the summer. Okay, especially going into sixth grade next year where things are going to be a little bit more difficult. Today, while I'm feeling this, it's actually Monday. So I've got my Star Wars shirt on. May the 4th be with you. I know you're watching this and it's Cinco de Mayo, it's Taco Tuesday. So hopefully you're celebrating that this evening. Okay. All right, so we are in our last two lessons of our unit, okay? And I do want to say that when you are in eighth grade and in high school, you'll dig deeper with the Civil War. In fifth grade, it's really just an introduction, okay? Giving some information about who are these key people: Abraham Lincoln, Stephen Douglas, Frederick Douglass, um, Robert E. Lee, Ulysses S. Grant, and kind of looking at some of those people and also some of the events. Okay, not just the Civil War, because that was a long event, but Sherman's March, the Underground Railroad. Okay, looking at some of those things that took place. All right, so this lesson, lesson 4, is titled The War Rages On. Okay, and we start out with the Battle of Antietam. And you can see on pages 316 and 317, we've got a little bit of information about President Lincoln and some of the things that he was thinking and doing, and then also the Emancipation Proclamation. Hopefully, you remember what the word emancipation means. I believe somebody said it was a spelling word with Mrs. Tony a while back, emancipate. Okay. Um, and so just some information about that. And the Emancipation Proclamation was not written in one day. Lincoln spent a lot of time thinking about what he wanted to say and to make sure that it sounded right. Okay. He wanted to put all the words together and not just make it sound right, but to make sure that people did the right thing. It's okay. So as you're reading, I do want you to just kind of think about some questions. Now, one thing you might want to go back to page 299. That was a couple lessons ago when we read about Frederick Douglass. Okay. And he wrote a little bit about the Emancipation Proclamation. And what he said was that it was the turning point between having a country that was free or a country that had slavery. Okay. And so it really helped the war efforts. Okay, so the Emancipation Proclamation is one of the biggest things that we remember President Lincoln for. And it's also one of those things that really gave momentum to the North to continue to fight and to fight for freedom. Okay, as you're reading, some things just to kind of think about. Now, this question that I'm going to ask, I kind of just gave a little bit of the answer, but you can kind of think about it in your mind too. How did the Union Army change after the Emancipation Proclamation? Okay, so not just like the number of people in the army, but the thoughts, the things that they felt were worth fighting for. How did that change? I also want you to think about, why was the fall at Vicksburg such a blow to the South? Why did that hurt them so much? And you're going to find that on page 319. So if you're watching the video before reading, make sure you either pause and find that page, or go back to your book, and you might want to have this video handy so you can go through these questions. And um, what did the Union victory win them when we are looking at Vicksburg? Okay, so what were the Union armies? What did that give the North? Okay, whenever they won, and it is kind of give you a little clue. It is a physical feature. Okay, so it's something that within the land that they were able to get. Okay. All right, on the next 4 pages is where we kind of get to the turning point. And I want you to think about, what do you think the word turning point means? Okay, so kind of internalize that. Think about that. What does that even mean? Okay, and a couple of other questions as you're reading these 4 pages I want you to think about. Okay. Why did General Lee take the risk of ordering General Pickett to charge? Okay. Why did he make that risk? Or why did he take that risk? Okay. We've talked about throughout the year that sometimes people take a risk for things that they want. Okay. So why do you think he did that? And um, another thing I want you to think about in looking at General Lee, how did Lee have to change his plans after Gettysburg? Okay. Now on page 321, you can see the Gettysburg Address. Okay. This is something that it is one of the um, most famous, most known speeches. Maybe not the entire speech, but a lot of people know the first part. 7 years ago, our fathers brought forth upon this continent a new nation. Okay. And so a lot of people know that part. I'll tell you, when I was in 8th grade, I had to memorize this. It wasn't for bonus. Like, we just had to do it. I don't know if that's something you'll have to do when you're older, but it is important to know. Okay, this is one of those speeches, kind of like Martin Luther King Jr.'s I Have a Dream speech. It's just one of those that is so well known. Okay, so that's on page 321. And then on page 322, we're looking at how women supported the war effort. Okay, Harriet Tubman, she's someone that we've talked about before. You've talked about her in the past. Um, Women who were nurses, okay, kind of looking at their role. And we've talked about this before, even like with the Revolutionary War, how women would take over their husbands, their sons, their jobs, whether it was working at a store or the farm. So it might not always be something within the war, but things that they were doing to help at home. Okay. And so as you're reading those 2 pages, I do want you to think about, how did civilians help? How were they able to help in the war effort? And um, how, and maybe even why, but specifically, how do you think the Civil War changed people's ideas about what women could do? Like I said, we've seen this before. We saw this with the Revolutionary War, how women started to pick up um, more things, not just doing housework and cooking, but working at the store or learning how to do blacksmith, learning how to do those things. Okay. So I want you to think about those questions as you're reading. Okay. Now, today you're reading this entire lesson and watching this video. Okay. That's your assignment. Tomorrow, you're going to read lesson 5. There's going to be another video. And then Thursday, there's going to be an assignment for you to complete. And then on Friday, there's a vocabulary quiz. Okay, make sure you're studying the vocabulary words. I also want you to know Abraham Lincoln, Harriet Tubman, Frederick Douglass, and there might be a few others that I'll have, but I'll let you know who that is. Okay, so some people, and then vocabulary words. Remember, a vocabulary word is anything that is highlighted. There's also a couple of vocabulary words that are just in bold. Okay, one of those is debate. But I'll give you a list, okay, for you to study. Now, you will be able to use your book. Some of you like the challenge of not using your book. Great, okay. Um, you are more than welcome to do that. And if you want to do the quiz and then let it sit, come back, look at your book, and check your answers, I'm fine with that too. Okay. Just a reminder, that the only one you are not able to use your book for is your states and capitals test. Okay. And a lot of you have got those turned in. I have a lot of them graded. They're just not put in yet. Okay. So I know a lot of you are anxious. You're like, when are those going to get done? They are getting graded. And once I have everybody's graded or the majority, I'll start putting the grades in so you can see them. Okay. All right. Enjoy celebrating Taco Tuesday. Apparently there's someone who wants to say hi. Okay. Have a great day, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye.